Hello folks, Hot Rod Rodney 25 aka Out of Scale Railroad coming back to you with another Prestonburg area update. This is going to be update A4, I believe, of my video series on the facelift of Prestonburg, as I mentioned in my last video. A3, we tore out the stone wall that was once here, and I tore it out because I needed some place to butt the foam up to, and I did not want to leave all my stone that was already collected and everything from the driveway, because they're good stone. It's all over here. All I would have to do is just trim a little bit of it, or cover it up or glue it or whatever. But here's, I already showed you this part, and up here is this piece that I made. And of course you'll see a little bit of the original ground cover of the old hill up here. I'm just leaving that like it is. It's not going to hurt nothing. Time you get plywood back up on the top level, which is all going to be, it's going to be mostly passenger train stuff up here. But once you get it on there, it's going to darken all that up and hopefully, take most of it out of view. If it don't, you'll just, it's just something I'll deal with. If I have to, I will put something across behind the bridge to kind of hide that area some more, maybe. Like a scenic wall background type thing like I did here. This is 4 pieces of foam, guys. This is 2 large pieces of foam, or actually 3 pieces of foam, I'm sorry. And it's all from a 2 foot by 2 foot sheet of foam that you can get at Lowe's. And that's what I was buying, because it's only like $5 or something like that a piece. So, when I'm there, I collect about 10 or more, depending on how much money I have with me. But I had this piece and all of this that you see here built, including those 2 tunnel portals, that wall piece, a few scraps that's down, and that added to that box. Not all of them, but a few small stuff. I keep everything, as I know a lot of you probably know that by now. I don't throw anything away, because you don't know if you need a little shim of something, and the little slivers of foam come in good for that, for shims for track and bridges and stuff like that. If you only needed that little bit, that's the way to do that. But anyway, this is 3 parts of it, and the 4th piece was the leftovers from me chopping all this up out of that 2 foot by 2 foot piece. And I'm sorry if I'm just made you seasick, changing the camera, and excuse the clock. Obviously it's reading 1 o'clock and it's way behind. I really need to change it. Anyway, I kind of like the collars in there. There's some yellow and some gray That's not white, guys. If it looked white on the camera, that is not white in there. That is a grayish, and there's some beige, yellow, burnt Sierra, and burnt umber. Burnt umber is mainly on there underneath. There is some of it mixed in parts to make it darker looking. I don't know how well that's... Some of it looks like it really wasn't cut much, but the paint has soaked into the crevices where I cut with the utility knife to make the ledges and, you know, the cuts, and make it look like it was cut out for all this. So I'm kind of liking it. I kind of like how it's turned out. Over here it's a different color, and all that is actually dry. That actually looks little more like a rock cut right there. But over here it gets kind of, you know, more darker and different colors look. But I'm liking it. I have not glued this down yet because it's still drying. I put it in here for this video. I will take it out and you can see where it actually goes. So, but I did do this with water and paint. I've left it run down, and then, you know, I painted certain areas of the crevices, the nooks and crannies, and that kind of stuff, whatever you want to call it. I sort of like it. I'm going to go with it because I don't want to have to redo this area again. Once it's done this time, I'm hoping everything will be done on it, so I ain't reaching in under there and trying to, you know, do stuff. Why I have this piece of plywood off up top, I'm going to be doing some wire running of my LED strips that I did a few weeks ago. I did a video on them saying that I only had like 2 or 3 done or something like that. Well, they're all finally done. There they are. They're going on this bench work on all 3 levels. Over here where my transformers will be on 2 levels. Probably maybe some underneath inside the door for those transformers, and 1 or 2 in under my dad's desk where my train track is ran, because I've got a switch over there. And excuse the mess, guys. This is what happens when you tear part of your platform or layout up. The other part of it becomes a catch-all. I know it's been a mess in most of my videos, and I'm sorry. I apologize for that, but it is a work in progress. So, and I'll have to fix this because that screw shouldn't have pulled out by itself. It could be that the foam got split or the screw went in the wrong. Yeah, I believe it's stripped out. So push the screw in and it should be all right. I'll fix it anyway somehow. But anyway, down here, this will most likely probably get stone liquid nailed to it, and possibly on the back side of this part where I did not do it before. And this is going to be basically like a peekaboo, but you're going to see the train on the other side of the river that's going to be coming through past here. And I don't know exactly where it's going to go yet, because I've got to figure out, and I'm sorry about the shakiness and movement. Because the way my new track plan is going to kind of go, and I'm probably going to get you out of the light on this. The main line is going to come across this crossing, go down here, and go back on the switch. Okay, when it switches back there at that switch way back there, in that access panel, it will come across the other side of the crossover and come out here on the add-on part and go around to the straight part of the switch. And actually, there will be a second switch coming. Let me move. The second switch coming off of this one that it will be going into, because this one is already occupied by the main line that's coming down. So the one that's coming across the crossing will come around into the second switch. This straight part of the switch will go across here when I add on the workbench track that will then come around, and of course this place is a mess, and I apologize, but it'll come off the workbench, cross the removable bridge, and this removable bridge across, that's just going to float like the other one. It's going to be a two-piece bridge. It will connect at that point and the other side, or out here at the front, however it has to do or go, I will do it, and connect back up with this switch, because the way the train's going to go, it's going to go actually come across this way and around on the workbench, and it'll come down and it'll go straight into the tunnel and come back around and come back and go wherever it can go back across again, or it can go back there and do its thing, or go across the other bridge and back in crossed. And again, excuse the mess, guys. I know it's a mess. Those three bridges right there behind my dad's transformer, they're old Marks bridges. So it'll go across them and go around. So basically, trying not to make you seasick. Basically, one way is going to be like a triple figure 8 looking, like an offset triple double, or a triple figure 8 is basically what it's going to be. One way. The other way, I can run the train in like an oddball offset figure 8, but also it'll be similar to an offset circle. Around on the workbench, it will be basically a circle until we get back over here, and then it'll go, to start going across crossings and so forth when it gets around. But the other way, it'll be a basic, almost like a basic figure 8, but it will also be offset. So there is quite a few crossings on this level, as well as the lower level. I don't know why I want so many crossings, but I'm trying to make a long run for, about 6 to 8, maybe 10 trains. And what this is going to allow me to do on DC, I'm going to be able to pull one out and climb the incline decline and clearing the back of the shed, and come up on into the Prestonburg area. I mean, after it passes through, cities and towns and whatever I name all that stuff. But then it will come around, and I'll be able to constantly run one up here on this level, through Prestonburg and several other places, while I pull another one out down below, and I will be able to run one around down through Abbeville and stuff on the lower level. Plus, it will have the yard lead that I can pull that one back in, and have the one up here coming down the grade, and coming back to the yard. That's my plan. The only thing that's really insulated at this point, with insulated rail joiners, and I do insulate both of my rails. I don't mess with this one rail thing, because sometimes it don't always work with certain locomotives. But the only place that I have it insulated on this area right now is any reverse loops, and back there at the incline decline, it's insulated on both ends, and I'll explain that a little more detail in another video. It'll involve switches, electric switches of Atlas. I use everything Atlas, or at least I try to, unless it's just little circles or something. I'll use Lifelike or Tyco or something like that. But anyway, yeah, my head just cleared itself. Anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to have an Atlas relay back there on my two Y switches, one down below on the main level and one up on this level. And when they switch, they will flip a relay, Atlas relay, that will automatically flip my priority in that little, it's maybe, I'm going to say, let's see, a 16-foot long riser kit, 2 foot each piece, and it might be maybe 2 foot and something for the piece that I really need to change around because it looks too steep. The locomotives make it up, but I'm afraid to put a load on it and try it. I just see me having problems because I built it as a board, to meet the 4-foot riser to where I need it to go. I'm going to have to test that out, and I'll probably end up putting more risers in to accommodate the problem, if there is a problem. But that's the only other part besides reverse loop switches, which ain't basically up here on this Prestonburg area level or anything up here on the actual second, third level. But everything in between those two Y switches will get insulated. That way the priority can switch. And with Y switches, you can go one way up the incline, decline, and come off on, into the straight part up here on the second, third level. And when it switches back and the priority switches, I can go down that same track. And when it gets down to the bottom on the main level, it will be going the right direction of the priority down there. So it'll pick it up and keep moving. So I've done this kind of stuff in the past. So I know how everybody says that you got to make blocks and all that stuff in DC. It don't bother me, guys. It's trains. It's still a layout. I just can't afford to go DCC. And I've already bought a bunch of my stuff over the years to make this layout work and make my dream layout work. It's always been a DC dream. It doesn't say that I'll never say that I won't ever go DCC. It could happen in the future. Who knows? But, that's for another video and another time if it ever happens. So anyway, this video is already going up to 22 minutes long. Actually over 22 minutes now. But that's what I wanted to update you on. There'll still be a removable panel back there. That scenery stuff will stay. The snow on top of the mountain will stay, which is nothing but paint and plaster, or plaster cloth. All this will stay like it is to make it look more real looking. Like I said, I may put something right on the back of this or on the front of this and run it across to there and tack it fast and do some scenery or something there. Maybe push some trees into a piece of foam or something that's connected, just to hide some of this stuff back here. I don't really think once it gets darker in here, you're not really going to see much of that except the peekaboo and the wall and stuff like that. But I mean, you can't really see much back there now besides where I painted the river and the tunnel portal. And that's basically all I want back there, guys. I just want a little peekaboo, and then this over here will be a little bit more of a peekaboo. This is going to be like the river coming from under the bridge or stream or something like that. Right now it's as wide as for a river, but I don't, like I said before, I'm not sure how far it's going to come out. I haven't really got to that point yet. And you can see the brown lines there. I did have it drawn out, but some of the foam has covered those lines up. But we will see if I use those lines or not. And we'll see what happens on the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment in the section down below. Ding the bell so you don't miss no videos on this channel. And don't forget to watch the live streams this week. Tonight is Redbird Tony. for On Track Tuesday. Tomorrow night will be Sparky 107. Thursday night will be me. And Friday night will be chatting with our cousin Vinny on BNSF 6951's channel. And don't forget 2448 Toyman later Friday night at 10 Eastern. And all those times are Eastern. And again, Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern will be 2448 Toyman. And also, Golfa Haynes does a hangout. Check him out. And our good buddy Jimmy over at DIY and Digital. He does a live stream also. And don't forget Roy Smith and Wilmer at the Indian Head Valley Railroad with their weekly shows, Not Bad and Dispatch. So until next time, guys, Hot Rod Rodney 25 out. Thanks for watching.